You can sense the intensity as they await the arrival of the Tennessee team here at Cleveland Stadium. The #1 undefeated Volunteers prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
What's going on, Vol fans? What's up, SEC fans? College football Saturday is just a day away. This is Elimination Saturday. Pardon me while I get me some coffee. Can't beat this Pilot Flying J coffee, I tell you what. I don't need to be drinking it because it runs right through me. But how you doing, Darkness God? We got a few checking in. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to be giving away some Tiki Totems. To anybody that calls, you're going to get a chance to win. I'm going to announce the last 4 numbers of your phone number that you use to call in on at the end of the show. And I'll be calling you, and if you answer, you're going to get a chance to win an SEC Tiki Totem of your choice. Got a few of you logging in. DSGB's in here. Good to see you. We've got a show. I tell you what, this has got to be the game of the year coming up tomorrow. All the hype centered around this game is unbelievable. Everybody in the country is going to be tuning in to this game. And if I can get some ones how the audio is, I'd appreciate it, because sometimes my settings get off just a little bit. But anyway, back to the game of the year. I've been up and down on this game, but I tell you what, this Tennessee-Charlotte game is got to be one of the biggest games coming into the this year. I don't think there's been a bigger game, but no, y'all thought I was going to talk about Alabama and LSU. That's got to be the game of the century. I've got Couch Coach on with us. What do you think? Do you think, Couch Coach, this is the game of the year so far?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, Charlotte, the 49ers versus the Tennessee Volunteers in Neyland Stadium. I mean, you can't get any bigger and badder than that. I mean, it's going to be 100,000 of your ugly friends in there. I just don't know how the 49ers are going to hold up.
Yeah, it's going to be a barn burner. What do you think?
Absolutely.
A one-sided barn burner.
It is. Tennessee's such a dominant, program. I think Garantano, it's just going to be too much for him, though. 6 TDs, easy, 500 yards passing, stays in the front running for the Heisman Trophy, and it's just going to be a total bloodbath.
Well, guess what? I don't know if you know this or not, but I am in my new ride. I'm in my new truck. This is the very first show in my new Kenworth W900, and I love it, love it, love it. And I'm at the Pilot truck stop in South Dallas, the Big D. And we're going to talk some football. I let a lot of people down this past weekend. I was clipping along about 80% there up until last week. But I got nicked up a little bit. I dropped my average. I was about 75% last Saturday. But that's all right. We're going to do better this week. And let's talk about, really, all joking aside, this Alabama LSU game. I think it's the game of the year so far. What do you think?
Well, it certainly has the potential to be. I mean, I know a lot of these LSU and Alabama fans like to think so, even though a lot of those games are pretty freaking boring, if you ask me. But absolutely the hype around it with 2 weeks to get ready for it. I mean, definitely the 2 best teams in the West for sure, and maybe even the 2 best teams in the SEC. We'll see what kind of shakes out there. But, of course, you have a big game going on in Baton Rouge Saturday night, and then, of course, 3:30 Eastern time, you got the Georgia Bulldogs playing the Kentucky Wildcats in Lexington. So I think both of those games are going to decide the East and the West this Saturday.
Do you ever get a chance to watch TJ LSU Dad on YouTube?
No, that guy is kind of interesting. I mean, he definitely has a strong following and things like that. He's he's got a great slick production. He gave Georgia fans a pretty hard time about that little parade that we had in New Orleans, and how I feel about that is, hey, anything Georgia fans did to New Orleans was a vast improvement over that dump of a city that they already have. So, he was, crying about that, but he should have been worried about losing to an inferior Florida team, which we completely exposed them last weekend. So hopefully Burrow will play a little bit better against Alabama than he did against Florida. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long night for the LSU Tigers.
Well, I follow him every now and then. I've had some small amount of communication with him, and he's on this rant of the conspiracy of the ESPN and the SEC offices have it out for the fix for Alabama to win everything. He brought up a targeting call that was called against Devin White, and that's the storyline because he's going to be out the first half of this game coming up tomorrow. And I don't know. It's easy when you're on the losing end for so long against Alabama to get on that conspiracy theory, but I'm not buying there's a conspiracy for Alabama to win it. I just think they're just a better team. They're better coached than anybody in the country. So I don't know. There's been a lot. Paul Feinbaum brought him TJ LSU Dad up about his conspiracy tweets he's been making. Didn't know if you had an opinion on that or not.
Yeah, I definitely think, Alabama, it's kind of like, and I've said this before, like certain teams are going to get favorable calls. The Patriots are going to get some favorable calls. Any team LeBron plays on is going to get favorable calls. And I just think Alabama sometimes gets that too. Now, I don't think that's the total reason why they win games, but as a Georgia fan, I just tell Georgia people, look, if we have to play Alabama, not only do we have to deal with the coaching, not only do we have to deal with the elite athleticism of that team, but we have to understand that in a tight situation, a 50-50 call, Alabama's going to get that call. That's just how it is. You have to overcome it. So if you're an LSU fan, if you believe in conspiracies or whatever, I don't know about the conspiracy part of it, but yeah, Alabama's going to get favorable calls 60-40% of the time. That's just how it is. You have to win in spite of it, roll with it. But I think LSU is a pretty sporty place. They definitely proved that against Georgia this year. They gave us a really good butt whooping. And this is without question the best defense that Alabama has played all year. Now, I know a lot of people like to dump on Alabama, say who have they played. Listen, Alabama is a phenomenal team. Tua is a phenomenal talent, right?
They're a machine.
But again, that is a valid point. They haven't played an elite defense like LSU. They do have a pass rush. They do have a good secondary. So, what does struggling look like to Alabama this year? What do you think? You think this defense can hold them to 30 points or something?
I thought a lot about that over the last few days, thinking about what we were going to talk about. I've been going back and forth between these two schools of thoughts. This is either going to be Tua's coming out party, and he's going to just go into another galaxy, which right now he's hands down the best player in college football, or he's going to come down to earth and bring all the Alabama fans back down to earth, that this is a tough league. There's a lot of parity and things. But I just got a feeling. My latest feeling is Alabama's not going to have a problem with LSU. I really think they're going to win. Now, I don't know if they're going to cover. They got a 14.5 point spread there, and we're going to go over the picks of the week here later on the show, and we'll continue to talk about this Alabama LSU game. But I want to hear from you guys. This show is 100% about you, the fans. Y'all are the reason why I do this. It really, it just makes my week, makes my day, and I really want to hear from you guys. And I've been kind of slack on giving out some tiki totems. So what I'm going to do, in case you're just now tuning in, anybody that calls the show, I'm going to write down the last 4 digits of your phone number. And at the end of the show, before I wrap it up, I'm going to call out those last 4 digits. And what you have to do, you have to email me at volunteerroadshow@gmail your entire phone number and your name and address, and I will send you a tiki totem of your choice. And these things are nice. Couch Coach can tell you that they're nice. I've given a lot of them away since last year. Do you still have yours there, Couch Coach? Is it a good luck charm, or does it still decorate your abode?
It decorates my life, Catfish.
Well, anyway, the phone lines are open. We've got one on hold. I'm going to jump to him right now, and I'm going to put his number down on the list. And anybody that calls, you could win a tiki totem. So you ready to go get some calls here, Couch Coach? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You're on with Couch Coach and Catfish. How you doing? What you got for us?
Hello.
Hello.
So how you think Tennessee could win tomorrow against Charlotte?
Come on, man. That shouldn't even be a question. Come on, man.
Well, I think you guys to win that game. I think you guys can win more than 21-2.
Well, I think that's what the spread is. It's 22, I guess, is this point spread. I'm not so sure about the point spread, but yeah, we're gonna win that game. In fact,
it went up to 22.
Yeah, I got my victory cigar. I don't have a lighter, but I'd be firing this thing up right now. Let me ask you a question. You asked me a dumb question. Let me ask you a serious question.
Okay.
Who do you have? Who do you have between LSU and Alabama?
LSU.
Really?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Because they are home and play good defense against Alabama. Remember 2 years ago they want to put Alabama up by 10 points in the fourth quarter. They hold Alabama in all 3 quarters. So I think LSU is much better this year. They beat Miami. They beat Auburn. So I think they could beat Alabama in this game.
Well, who's your team? Who's your team? You're a Duke.
Miami.
Oh, you're a Duke?
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you what I'll do.
We'll play Miami.
You've called in several times. If LSU wins, I'll send you a Duke Tiki Totem. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Now, how's your basketball team going to do this year?
I think we could beat Kentucky Tuesday.
You think so? When's the game?
Tuesday.
Oh man, that's a early season dogfight there. I see Valerie Griner's in the house and she's picking LSU too. She says she just has a feeling. Well, I don't know. I think Alabama's going to win the game, but I think LSU. That's not a bad pick to take LSU in the points. What do you think, Couch Coach? How would you go?
Yeah, I think so too. I think that defense can kind of match up with Alabama's offense. But the biggest question mark with LSU is that offense. I mean, they're going to have to manufacture points through the air to beat Alabama. They have to have the ability to spread them out and run it and throw it. Now, Burrow doesn't have to be Baker Mayfield, right? But he does have to make the throws, and he has to perform in that game. And I just don't know if LSU's receiving core is as strong as some of these other teams that we have in the league. And so that's what I'm trying to gauge. But, absolutely the home field advantage plays to their favor. I think this is without question. Their defense and Alabama's offense will go back and forth a little bit there. I think they can hold Alabama to about 31, 35 points. But I just think that can LSU get 35 points, 38 points, 40 points to feel comfortable about beating an Alabama? See, because that defense can be had, I think. But they're going to have to make those plays in the passing game to do it, I think.
Well, I'm right there with you on that one, but it's going to be a great game. What else you got for us, caller?
They picked Alabama about 14 points to beat LSU. I don't agree with that. Do you?
No, I like I said, I think Alabama's going to win it, but I think it's going to be very hard for them to cover 14 and a half points. That half point, that puts it a little bit. That's a big difference between, coming up with a push at 14 points and then putting that half point on top of it. That's a tall order against that kind of defense. But I think with Devin White being out the first half, who knows? That's a storyline. I don't know why that's not a bigger storyline than what it is, because he's a preseason All-American, and he's a heck of a linebacker. I don't know. I got a question for you, Couch Coach. How do you think the DBs, especially Greedy Williams, is going to match up with the number one receiver for Alabama?
I think that's going to be a back-and-forth battle. I mean, Alabama's going to make some plays there. LSU's going to make some plays there, too. And, I mean, I don't think Tua has any interceptions, does he? I mean,
No.
Has he thrown an interception all year? I don't think he has. So, I mean, this is definitely the secondary that could match up with Alabama, and they definitely have the defensive line that could match up, too. Now, their middle of the defense is okay. I think their linebackers are, good but not elite players. So, I actually think that Alabama might be able to run the ball a little bit more effectively against LSU. I mean, Georgia had some success there in their game, and they got away from that. And I think if Alabama looks at that, they could really see that, hey, listen, we can move the ball running it on these guys with Damian Harris. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Damian Harris be a factor in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. But anyway, caller, be listening for your phone number. I'm gonna announce the last 4 digits of the phone numbers at the end of the show, and you just might win. We've got a couple of callers on hold, and thanks for calling, buddy. Now, if LSU wins, I'll send you a Duke Tiki Totem, so don't let me forget.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna grab another call. I believe this is Crying Ryan. I'm glad I hope that's who it is. I've been wanting him to call in for a couple weeks. One of these last shows we did, he said he was sick or something like that. I don't think he just. I think he just didn't want to talk because they had a rough weekend last weekend. But let's go to the phones, and don't forget this show is built on you, the fans. I want to hear from you guys. You can call the show. The number's on the screen: 855-489-7623. Sponsored by Allied Oil and Tire, out of Des Moines, Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska, Sioux City, Wichita, Kansas City, and the location I use is Joplin. Go in there and see Brett Black. He's the manager. Sometimes he's here on these live streams and will say hi, but go see him and he'll hook you up with all your truck tires and maintenance needs. So anyway, let's see if this is Crying Ryan. If not, we'll talk to him anyway. You're on with Catfish and Couch Coach. What you got?
Week 9. Moving on. We're not going to talk about Week 8. We can move on from that.
I think we need to talk about Week 8. Do you have anything to add to that Week 8 ball game between Florida and Georgia, Couch Coach?
Yeah, I just want to hear more about how bad Jake Fromm is. Maybe Florida fans can tell me.
I never said he was bad. I just said he was worse than last year. Correction. Right. And I have something to add. Another Felipe Franks turnover. That's another one.
Yeah, he's bad, bro. He's bad.
You're telling me. Yeah. Emory Jones threw one pass, 60 yards, and it was an absolute dot. How can you not see this thing?
Yeah.
Well, let me
football, man.
Let me ask you something, Ryan. You get to watch a lot of these Florida YouTubers, and you're probably on all these chat boards and everything. What's the biggest excuse Florida fans are given for that butt whooping Saturday, which I predicted, by the way?
The same excuse there was last year, Felipe Franks.
Weren't you high on him at one point in the season? You thought he was?
I said he was better. I said he was a good quarterback, not great, not elite. I said he was good. And last year he had one more touchdown and interception, so that's not even good last year. That's pitiful.
Yeah. Well, Dan's still trying to find his guy. I mean, it's still year one for you guys, and you guys have to move on to Missouri. I mean, that's kind of the bottom line of it. But I mean, I think Dan is moving that program forward. I think he definitely needs to get his quarterback in there, whoever that is, and kind of move forward towards next year. But I think that you guys kind of fishing out the season. I mean, clearly it's not the most difficult schedule in the world, and if you guys don't beat FSU this year, Dan Mullen's got problems. I mean, FSU is a horrible team, I think. So you guys got to get off the snide there for sure.
Man, our defense played to win. Our offense didn't. But those goal line stands, never seen anything like that before. That surprised even me.
Well, here's my take on that too. I hope our offensive linemen were doing up downs all week for that touchdown they can punch in there, because I know I certainly would have if I was their coach. But hopefully they will actually be able to gain a yard this week on the goal line. But yeah, I mean, Florida's defensive line is good. I mean, they are a solid bunch there. I think your back seven is a little. They're good. They're getting there. I think you guys had some injuries kind of in your secondary too, and so it showed, and I think that just kind of came through. But I think Georgia just with the depth there kind of wore you guys down at the end. I think it was a closer game than that 36-17 or whatever showed. But I just think that, Mullen's still building the program, and he's getting his guys in there. So you guys will be all right.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say I have Bama winning but not covering the spread, and I have Georgia beating Kentucky. Those are my two picks for the games.
Yeah, I think those are solid picks. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think LSU will give them a test.
Let me ask you.
And Georgia has another chance at Alabama and Tua, so you better take that chance.
Let me ask you a question, Crying Ryan. Are you ready for that backup quarterback? What's his name? Emory Jones, or what's his name?
It's Emory Jones, and I'm going to say just ride with Franks for the rest of the season, but put Emory Jones in against some other teams. And then next year, depending on how much he developed, you should put him in more and more slowly. Because you want to preserve his red shirt, but you want to get him more playing time. That was only the second game he's played in, I think, this year. So he still has 2 more games.
Well, why don't you do something for me, Crying Ryan? Until we get another caller, I was hoping an Alabama fan would call in or an LSU fan. We're going to go over some picks, and we're going to get you to chime in. Let's go over the list of games. Are you ready, Couch Coach?
Let's do it.
Do you have them wrote down, or do you want me to call them out?
That's fine. I got them written down too.
All right, you start out, and I'll give you your pick, and then I'll give my pick. Start out with Alabama LSU.
Yep, Alabama LSU 14.5 at 8:00 tomorrow night. Playing in Baton Rouge, I kind of agree with kind of everyone's consensus here. I think LSU is going to play hard. I think that it's going to be a fiery atmosphere. I think they might get some turnovers. I think they might put Alabama in some bad situations. I think it's going to be a test for Alabama. I mean, I think this is going to be the first time this year that Alabama's going to see okay, we're in an adverse situation. How do we handle it? But I just think at the end of the day, Nick Saban having 2 weeks to get ready for you, with the weapons that they have on offense, just over a course of a 4-quarter game, I just trust Nick's in-game planning a little bit more than I trust Ed Orgeron. So I'm going to take Alabama on the win, but LSU on the line.
I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take Alabama to win, and I'm going to put it 10 to 14 point victory, and which would have LSU covering. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, it's gonna be the first game I'm predicting that Tua is playing in the fourth quarter, because they're gonna need him to play in the fourth quarter, because LSU's defense is gonna not allow them to put up 50 points a game. So I'd say the same thing. Bama wins, but doesn't cover the 14 points.
We're going to go to one more game, and I'm just going to direct this because I've got some callers stacking up, and I want Ryan's opinion. Tell us the point spread on the Florida-Missouri game, Couch Coach.
It is -6 Florida.
I'm going to go with Florida. I think Missouri's not very good right now. I think Florida covers that easily. I know you're down on Franks, but they've got a decent enough football team. I know it's at Mizzou, but Missouri does not have a defense whatsoever. So I'm going to let you wrap your call up, Ryan, with telling me your pick on this one, and be truthful. Tell me what you think.
Okay. Well, Florida has the second best pass defense in the SEC, and Drew Luck is the second best passing quarterback in the SEC. So I'd like to think that since it's only 6 points and not 7, that Florida could cover it based off maybe a 1 touchdown, 10-point or 10 to 14-point range, hopefully, or more. So I'd say Florida covers, but not by, like 30 points.
All right.
Yeah, I think that I gotta see how Florida handles bouncing back from that Georgia loss. I mean, that really depends. I mean, I agree. I think that Missouri is just kind of an team. But if Florida's kind of down on themselves and they start kind of or whatever, just coming out very flat, I could see Missouri covering on that line. But I don't know if they win the game. Maybe Florida wins the game, but Missouri covers.
Well, Ryan, we'll find out. I'm going to do a post game after the Tennessee game tomorrow, and we'll see. I don't know. What time's your game coming on, Ryan?
Oh, I think it's 3:30, maybe, possibly.
All right. Well, good luck on your Gators, and I'm going to go catch another call or two. Thank you, buddy.
All right. See you later.
Be listening for your number. You might win a Tiki Totem. All right, we're going to go to another caller. Let's see. He's calling from the 706. You're on with Catfish and Couch Coach. Who we got and what you got for us?
Hello, how you doing today?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm all right. This is Jermaine Trucker. I'm a Georgia fan.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Well, what do you think?
What do you think?
Tell me about your Bulldogs. They've got to play Kentucky. They're going up to Lexington. Tell me what you think. How you feeling?
I feel good about it. I think they're going to do what they did last year. Well, after they lost to Auburn last year, they went on that run. I think that's what they needed. They needed that loss, honestly, to wake them up, to see that, like, it's for real. You know what I mean? It's nothing to play about. You can't take no team lightly or whatever like that. You know what I mean? But I really feel like Georgia it's going to be a close game. But at the end of the day, I think Georgia pull off in the third quarter.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think that LSU, Georgia is again one of those teams that kind of. The thing I like about the way Kirby Smart has built this team is they get stronger in the third and fourth quarter, and that tells you that the coaching is doing what it's supposed to do, right? Except for really that LSU game, I feel like Georgia always played like South Carolina. They turned it on against them. Florida, they kind of pulled it away in the fourth quarter, and I think it's kind of the same thing with Kentucky. Now, Kentucky has a great defense. I mean, I will give them respect on that. And, they actually played us pretty tough last year, even though the score didn't show that. I mean, the first half last year, Kentucky really gave us some, tough out there. But I think that Georgia just takes over. I just don't think Kentucky has enough offense there.
Correct. Honestly, from that watching Georgia defense, if you watch every game they played this year, if you notice, like the third and fourth quarter, Georgia defense hunkered down. Like they really they hunkered down. Like literally, you know what I mean? And like people try to realize they keep trying to put like what Georgia did last year. That was last year. That was last year team. It's a whole new era. You got a lot of young guys on the defensive side, you know what I mean? But if you totally pay attention, you know what I mean? Like Tate Crowder, you know what I mean? He's like, to me, I think he's gonna be an outstanding linebacker. If they give him a chance. So he showed me a lot. Like last week in the Florida game, you know what I mean? Every time he was in the game, they didn't rush the middle. They didn't get through the inside, the ALB gap. You know what I mean? I just feel like Georgia need to understand, stop trying to substitute so many players. You know what I mean? Because when you constantly rotating these players, they can't get in the vibe. They can't get in that way. Okay, you know what I mean? You constantly taking them out. They're not going to stay comfortable or whatnot. All they worrying about is the coach is going to take them out. And like what they did against Florida, when they picked their offense, y'all going to play. This is what's going to be. Defense, this is what's going to be. That's what you need to play. You can't do what Oregon and all that rush, all that APR, that whatever you like to call it. You know what I mean? You can't do that. Like Georgia, like last year, we never did that, all that rotation. We didn't do all that. You know what I mean? And as you see in the Florida game, when they stopped doing all the rotation and it had set players, you see what Georgia can do. And like, you know what I mean? That's another thing I like to talk. And this goes to all the Georgia fans. Once y'all stop, man, stop trying to say fields need to be played. Like, listen, Phil he's a good. I seen him play. You know what I mean? I'm from Georgia, and he don't play against my son in high school last year, and I seen Phil play for myself. He's a good quarterback. But at the end of the day, you gotta understand, you can't just throw a young guy like that that's never played play with more than with everybody 5-star, 4-star, 4-star players. Now you got all 5-star players on defense. Give them a chance. Take it easy with them. You know what I mean? I just like everybody. Like we lose one game. You know what I mean? It's like everybody want to say point the finger. Like I said, if you're a fan of the football, you're a fan of the football. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? And they, like last year when we lost against Auburn, they wasn't doing all that. We played form. They didn't do none of that. Also, this year we lose to LSU. Now they talking about form. Everybody have a bad game. Nobody's perfect. I never seen a perfect team go through the whole season without a bad game. They're just like Alabama. No, Alabama ain't elite. I don't think they're elite. They ain't play nobody to me. And then the teams that they play that was above average that can score, you know what I mean? You see, like, look at Missouri. Even though Missouri they got a good defensive line, they got a good offensive line. But like I said, if you can honestly just look at Auburn when Auburn played Alabama, Arkansas killed themselves. All the turnover, that game could have been way closer than what it should have been. Texas A&M, I don't know what Texas A&M problem was that game. I just feel like they just gave up. But it's like any day, you know what I mean? It's any given, like I say, any given Sunday, any given Saturday. It's any college team. And like I say, like that, and to get LSU and Alabama, I really think, my opinion, my score prediction, I really feel if LSU keep Alabama below 14 points in the second quarter, third and fourth, I promise you, Tua, you're gonna see what a real quarterback gonna be. Because Tua never had to worry about looking behind his back, worrying if a team gonna catch up. You know what I mean? He never played in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? They keep making like Tua's like an All-American. Like, okay, he's a good player. He's a good quarterback. He's accurate. I give him that. You know what I mean? But like honestly, like who they play? Like honestly, who have they played?
They play Tennessee now. Come on, give my team some credit now. We've won 3 games.
No,
we won 3 games, man.
I understand it, but listen, Tennessee is going through a back road ride right now. We know y'all lost a lot of players. You know what I mean? So I can't take Tennessee's a good team. Now y'all young, you know what I mean? Y'all gonna be up there. I give y'all about 2 more years. Y'all need a good recruit season. Y'all need a good recruit season.
I don't know about that.
You know what I mean?
Two more years. That's a long time. I got us going 15-0 next year now. Come on, man. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Jay. Me and Couch Coach was talking before the show about Chaney. I want to know what your opinion is about Chaney in his play calling, and do you think they'll make a change if things don't get better with the play calling? Do you think that? Just tell me what you think about Chaney in particular.
Honestly, I have like observed the play calling for them. I observed Chaney. You know what I mean? I really feel like this is how I really think about it. His play calling I'm gonna say 75% good. The rest of you gotta you kind of scratch your head like, what is he calling? Like maybe maybe he's up there seeing something, or maybe he got a set of plays that he already got set that he gonna run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, it's like NFL. You know, they already beginning of the game, they already got their first 3 plays already. How they gonna run it. And like Jim Chandler, I'm not gonna say I can't bash him. He's a good offensive coordinator. I give him that. But I really feel like a lot of his bad calling is because of that rotation. You constantly rotating 4 different running backs. You constantly rotating receivers. You're not giving a tight end. Georgia used to be known for tight end and running back. Georgia used to be the tight end. You be tight end. Georgia they don't play the tight ends like they used to. But like if you notice now, with Georgia get the ball to the tight ends, keep their rotation short, I promise you, man, Georgia gonna be the same. It's the same offense from last year. People don't really realize it. Yeah, Sonny and Chubb's gone, but honestly, like my opinion, Holyfield is a good running back. He's a damn good running back. To my opinion, he can, like anybody say, he can go to the end of the college and start right now. He can do that.
Yeah,
know what I mean? And
with Chaney's deal, and here's what I'm seeing, and maybe you can, I don't know if you see this as well. I think that when he was hired, Kirby was trying to pull a staff together that was very established and proven on the recruiting trail. And I think he's been there for 3 years. And I think the challenge now is he has all these players, like what you're saying, right? Like all this kind of talent, and he's got to find a way to get these guys on the field, right? So, but what I'm seeing with this team this year, whether it's Fromm or Fields running the offense, I think this team really does well when they play fast. When they do that no huddle,
and Zach. And you know what? Yeah. And you absolutely right. They are better on a fast offensive play. They are a whole lot better. But sometimes, but that also be a kryptonite too. Because look, let's say they go 3 and out like that. Your defense back on the field. You know what I mean? Sure. You can't come to keep putting the defense on the field, especially because we got a lot of young players on defense, especially the front seven. They just need to get an understanding like who's gonna play. Start all this rotation. Understand? Yeah, you need to rotate, but at the end of the day, this like you playing for a berth in the BCS playoff. Know what I mean? Like it's like right now you gotta like know who you feel that's gonna give more to the team. You can't keep favoritism. That's not gonna carry you nowhere. And like I said, there's a lot of favoritism going on with Georgia. There's a lot of favoritism. A lot of problems with that. Kirby Smart, he's a man, he try to keep his word. But sometimes you got to realize some of these 5-star players ain't 5-star players in college. That's what people try to realize.
Well, that's a good point. And I think that's a very good point. And I think that with, Georgia, I mean, look, they're a good football team, right? I mean, obviously it's not the established team that they had last year. It's a little bit more touch and go. But I think going forward, especially if they play at LSU in a rematch or in Alabama, they got to click on that offensive side of the ball. Absolutely.
And honestly, I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not to be funny at all. I'm gonna tell you something like I really want y'all to understand, and I want y'all to pay attention. If you ever get a chance to go back to the LSU and Georgia game, that third quarter, you notice if Farmer never got to that sack, Georgia, they was down by 10 points. Georgia just needed to score. They just needed a score. It didn't matter a touchdown. Farm, he was looking for a touchdown. No, don't do that. Sometimes you can't get it all on one play. Sometimes you gotta chip away. You got the best kicker in the college. For me, he the best kicker. You got one of the best kickers in college. Know what I mean? You mean tell me when Farm took that sack, I said myself then Georgia lost the game. Even I'm a Georgia fan, diehard Georgia fan. Know what I mean? And if Georgia and LSU play again right now, Georgia will blow out LSU, hands down. And not to be funny, but Georgia will blow them out.
Well, I'll tell you,
possibility in Athens.
I've got some calls stacking up, but this is one of the best calls we've had in a long time. I'm going to tell you what I want to do. It was such a good call. You email me, Jay, at volunteerroadshow@gmail. Your name and address, and I'm going to send you a Georgia Tiki Totem, and that's on the condition that you'll keep calling in. We need calls like this. He's got passion. You got a lot of passion for your team, and you know what you're talking about. But I really, really appreciate you calling and email me, volunteerroadshow@gmail, and I'll get you a Georgia Tiki Totem, and they're a nice, nice gift. But I've got to get to some calls, and I appreciate you calling in, buddy.
I appreciate it. And another thing before I let you go, y'all look for my son next year. He gonna be a senior next year in high school.
What's his name?
He's a running back. His name after me, Jermaine Dunbar Jr.
Okay, where's he play?
He's from Burke County, Waynesboro, Georgia.
All righty.
Waynesboro, absolutely.
All right, buddy.
Waynesboro, Georgia, Burke County. Y'all watch out for him.
All
right, sir.
We'll definitely do that, and keep calling in. Great call. Anyway, I appreciate it, buddy. That's a pretty good call, wasn't it? Man, we've got something that's been on hold a long time. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Know what I mean? Let's go grab this one. My battery on my computer's going dead. I hope it lasts till the end of the show, but we're going to go to the 706. We got a few minutes left. You're on with Catfish and Couch Coach. Who do we have and what you got?
It's Fishing with Tiny Bass and Go Dogs. What's going on, Catfish? What's going on, Couch Coach?
Hey, buddy.
Absolutely. Go Dogs indeed, sir.
Well, what you got?
Well, I'll tell you what's been grinding my gears ever since the Florida game, and that's that goal line stance. We had 6-7 opportunities on the yard line, and it's the same call after call after call. Me and my wife's over here on the couch like, what are they thinking? I was like, and then the last time after we got the penalty and everything, and we get the second turn, well, we go down, and it's, quarterback sneak. Well, we're gaining little by little. We're not getting there, but we're gaining little by little. We get the third down. One more QB sneak, and it would have been a touchdown. But no, drop back, handoff, lose yards. Lose a yard and a half. I was like, what is Chaney thinking? And I've just been stewing on that ever since. And like I heard somebody say earlier, doing up downs and everything on that offensive line, I bet they've been doing that, but I'd be making the play caller do that as well. I'd be making Chaney doing some up downs.
Well, he would throw up his McDonald's on himself. But, that offensive line, they should be ashamed of themselves. Come on, you get the ball on the 1 freaking yard line, you get a turnover there, you got to punch it in. Have some freaking pride. I about threw my football through a wall when that happened. It's an attitude thing. You know what I mean? You got to believe that if you're an elite player, elite offensive line, on the goal line, you got to believe that if you get 4 opportunities, you're going to punch it in. And so the fact that Kirby had, I guess we're going to have to settle for 3 points because you guys aren't good enough. So that's, hopefully, I don't know what that was. It didn't hurt us enough to lose the game or anything. It was a gift wrap kind of deal. But come on, 1 yard line, that offensive line should look at that and be ashamed of themselves. We should start calling them the 1 yard club because they can't punch it in from the 1.
Well, I tell you what, I was thinking, Rodrigo had the distance. He could have kicked the field goal when he was back there at the 50, 53, 54. It would have been good. Rodrigo's best freaking kicker in the country. And so we let Camarda, and I'm like, oh, no, Camarda cannot punt. I was like, oh, my goodness, why are we doing this? Let Rodrigo go ahead and get the point. Camarda actually gets it down within the 5, and then at the 1 yard line, I'm like, okay, touchdown, we're in. And then we get the penalty, and I'm like, okay, we're for sure getting the touchdown. But no, play after play after play. And then right when we're about to get it, let's lose a yard and a half. And I was like, just one, all Fromm had to do was just fall over the line on that very last one, and it would have been a touchdown. I was like, oh, my goodness. Me and my wife, we was going crazy, and I'm glad there wasn't nobody else in the house because we're pitching a fit, yelling at the TV.
Well, here's an idea. You have a 6'3" quarterback. Why don't you try doing a move from the 1 with that kind of player, right? That's what we're talking about with Chaney. It's
wasn't it 7 plays?
Use
what
personnel.
Wasn't there 7 plays from the goal line? Did I count those right? Or 6?
Something like that. It was embarrassing. It was just embarrassing, and they should be. Look, we won the game, right? So it's not like it mattered in the grand scheme of things. But come on, when it's an ad. See, this is where I'm different than a lot, and I'm sure this caller agrees with me as well. Is that it's about a championship attitude. And that team that we had last year, it's like we're going to slam the door on your face right now, right? You turn the ball over against us, we're going to make you pay. And this baby football team right now needs to grow up and start playing some man football, or they're not going to have the kind of season they want to have, and that's just the bottom line.
Hey, Fishing, before I let you go, before I let you go, I've got 2 other callers on. Give me a quick pick on the spread. You going to take the points, or who are you going to take, Alabama or LSU? Alabama's giving up 14.5. Or are you going to take the points at LSU?
I think it's going to be a closer game than most people's expecting. I'm not going with the points on that game. I go with LSU and the points because I really don't think everybody. I don't think Alabama's not going to be able to blow out LSU. I don't think LSU's going to win. It'd be nice, but what did I tell you when last time I called you? I was like, we can't have Alabama do like they did last year. Weasel their way out by losing the game and then go into the title game. I want to beat Alabama in Atlanta and not even have any doubt about the college football playoffs. I want to get it done in Atlanta.
Well, I appreciate it, Fishing. Everybody go check out Fishing for Tiny Bass, and I think he made a comment. Go check out his channel. He does a lot of fishing stuff, but I appreciate you calling in, buddy. We're going to go to the 704. I'm sorry you've been waiting so long. We got 2 more calls, and I'm going to go to this call really quick. You're on with Catfish and Couch Coach. What do you got, buddy?
How you doing, Catfish? This is Matthew. I've been wanting to call into your show for a while, man.
Well, I'm glad you did. What you got?
Well, you ready for the games? This coming weekend, man.
Oh yeah, I'm always ready.
There's gonna be some big time football going on.
Yeah, what do you think about the Alabama LSU game? That's kind of the game of the weekend. Where do you got your money on that? Alabama favored by 14.5.
I think Alabama. I think Alabama's gonna pull it off, man.
You think they're going to cover?
LSU's gonna play them. LSU's gonna play them close though.
Yeah,
they are. I believe they will.
Well, I believe you said to the screener you're a Tennessee fan. What do you think about our game last weekend? That's pretty sad, wasn't it?
Man, I was watching that with my dad, and I was screaming at the TV. Man, I just don't know. I just don't know what happened there at the end. I believe he went for it. Went for it on what, 4th and 10? And didn't kick a field goal. And I thought we may have needed a field goal, but I don't know. It was just a hard loss.
Yeah, I think our defense just didn't show up in the second half. I don't know. Did you get to watch any of our game, Couch Coach? What did you think?
I did, and that's a game that Tennessee's going to want back. I mean, come on. South Carolina had 2 weeks to get ready for you guys, and that's what they do. They get down 21-9 to y'all or something like that. I mean, just that shows you that that coaching staff. I mean, Will Muschamp sucks. He sucks. I don't care. He's freaking horrible, man. I mean, come on. You have this third-year quarterback who's supposed to be doing something. You have these elite receivers supposedly, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, Tennessee, they got to find a way to buckle it down on these kind of games. Like they had a couple games even last year, like against South Carolina and against Florida, that they just. I mean, that's what teams that aren't used to winning. It's like they can't find that kind of mental breakthrough that just gets them through a game like that. I mean, when you're up by that kind of score, you just got to slam the door and find ways to make the plays to get it done. And I don't know if that's just a coaching deal or personnel, but that's the next step for y'all's program, is to get kind of players that can believe that they can win in these kind of tight situations.
Oh yeah, their defense just ran, just didn't stop, just didn't adjust and stop the run, and they just ran all over us. They just ran all over us. I mean, I watched it.
And you guys had to play. I mean, this is what's frustrating is you played Auburn, and I felt like that offense really just made some big plays in the passing game to seal that game. And I just don't understand why that wouldn't have taken over in the South Carolina game. I don't consider South Carolina better than Auburn, right? So
that's why I don't understand that either. I don't know. That's just I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, you guys. I mean, again, it's year one of Pruitt. I think he's building you guys pretty well. I mean, the second half of your schedule is easier, so there's a chance. You just got to play good football. That's all. I mean, buckle down and win in the fourth quarter.
We got to learn how to win, and give him some time. I believe he has this program heading in the right direction. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. Before I let you go, caller, I tell all the Tennessee fans out there, just when we get a little taste of something good, we get brought back down to reality. But like you said, we're going in the right direction. I really, really, really do believe it. And I still think we're going to a bowl game. I think this Georgia-Kentucky game is actually going to help us. It might soften Kentucky up. Me and a couch coach was talking about this before the show, that it might help us. And if we can knock off Kentucky, that gives us a shot. I think we're going to beat Missouri and Vandy. I think we're going to a bowl game. And I appreciate your call. Be listening. Be listening. Your number might be called to win a Tiki Totem. These things are really, really nice. But I'm running out of battery on my computer, and I appreciate you calling. Please call back. This was a great call. And in fact, you send me your name and address to Volunteer Roadshow at Gmail, and your shirt size. I'm gonna send you a Volunteer Roadshow T-shirt for free. So get me that email out to me, and I'm gonna go grab this other call.
All right, thank you, Catfish.
All right. Well, maybe I should take this call. Maybe I shouldn't. Let me ask Couch Coach. You know who's coming next, don't you? Who's sitting on hold?
It's got to be Delusional Paul.
Delusional Paul's
It's got to be Delusional Paul.
Delusional Paul. He's on the line. He's been on the hold for 19 minutes. He doesn't know this, but I've skipped over him like twice because I wanted to hold the worst for last. Should I take his call?
Let's do it. We need entertainment.
All right. We're gonna take his call, but I'm not gonna put up with it if he doesn't come back to reality. What's going on, Paul?
You know what I mean? Trying to make it to the BCS. You know what I mean? Is this the Georgia Bulldog call-in show? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Well, what you got?
Coming up. You know what I mean?
What you
I'll
got?
tell you what.
Wait. I hear Urban Meyer has got his. It's not a heart issue. He's got what? Brain cysts or something like that. It's like his heart attack 2.0. What's going on with that?
It's his built-in excuse. I can't stand Urban Meyer. But hey, real quickly, my Cleveland Browns fired their head coach Hugh Jackson this week and offensive coordinator Todd Haley. So that's interesting news for my Cleveland Browns. Greg Williams is a good coach, though. He was from the New Orleans Saints when they had that Bounty Gate stuff and got kicked out of the NFL for a year. He's the Browns head coach now. So that's his little Cleveland Browns update for you. But Ohio State fans.
Couldn't they have done that like at the beginning of the season? Like, why wait until he's actually winning some games to fire him? Wouldn't that make sense to have fired him like after we went 0-16? Don't you just love getting your time wasted?
It really is frustrating, and I don't even want to talk about it right now. It makes me so mad. But I do like Greg Williams, and the talent. The Cleveland Browns have so much talent on their roster because they've had all these top picks the last decade. I mean, they have a good team on paper. They, like you were saying earlier, Couch Coach, about Tennessee needs to get that mentality of winning. The Cleveland Browns need to get that back, that they're winners. They've been in 4 overtime games this year, and they just pee down their leg when they get to overtime. But ironically, this weekend, Ohio State fans are cheering for Alabama because we don't want LSU to beat Alabama, and then Georgia versus LSU in the SEC title game, and Georgia wins. Georgia's obviously in, and then they're going to say, well, is a one-loss Alabama going, or is a Ohio State going, or is an Oklahoma going? I mean, you're going to have interesting debate. So what we're hoping is Alabama wins this game, and then Georgia and Alabama just have basically a built-in playoff for who represents the SEC, if that makes sense.
Well, let me jump in here, Paul. Let me bring you back down to reality. It doesn't matter who wins this game tomorrow between Alabama and LSU. Ohio State is not going to the playoffs. Period.
If they win out, they go. If they win the Big Ten. They won the Big Ten last year, and they got shafted by the callers called it the BCS. It hasn't been the BCS since like how many years ago? I don't know why that guy called the college football playoff the BCS, but I don't think the committee has the courage to leave the Big Ten championship out, the Big Ten champion out 2 years in a row, just with the money that the Big Ten brings, because they do have a lot of ABC and ESPN affiliations, which I think benefits the Big Ten. But I don't think the college football playoff behind the scenes with the guys, the money stuff, I don't think they can leave the Big Ten out 2 years in a row. That was just a bizarre set of circumstances last year. So I would say the Big Ten champion, no matter who it is going to be in the college football playoff. And mathematically, Ohio State's still alive and well. If they win out, they're in. It's that simple, Catfish.
Well, I don't think you're getting by Michigan to begin with, so I'll let you answer this, Couch Coach.
I'm nervous about that game, but I'm just saying Big Ten fans are cheering for Alabama tomorrow because we don't want to get screwed. Because I think Georgia can get in. If you guys play LSU, I think Georgia can win in the Dome in Atlanta. I think Georgia can win that game.
Yeah.
So I'd rather it be Georgia versus Alabama, and the winner of that goes.
Well, I've got somebody in the comments section. They're calling it the Little 10. That's what I think. I'm at a loss for words. I had Michigan winning the Big Ten, and I think they're still mathematically in it. I just don't see. I think Urban has written his coaching career off at Ohio State. I don't think he's in it much longer.
Yeah, I
think this is his last year, and I'm happy about that. But one last thing real quick. I know your computer's getting low. This Northwestern game is a trap game for Notre Dame. It's at Northwestern, and Northwestern's a decent team this year. They can beat Notre Dame, so Notre Dame's got to be careful on that. I think Northwestern, if Notre Dame's not careful, I mean, good Lord, Ball State and Vanderbilt almost beat Notre Dame. You know what I mean? But I think Notre Dame needs to be careful going on the road to Northwestern.
Good thought. I like it.
Well,
thanks for having me on
the
show.
You
You know what I mean?
Before you go,
You know what I mean?
Before you go, let me ask your opinion: Alabama or LSU? You taking the points or giving up the points?
I'm taking LSU in the points, and what makes me mad is every time I cheer for Alabama, which is I can count on one hand, every time I've ever cheered for Alabama, they've lost every single time. So I'm a little nervous to cheer for them tomorrow night. Because every time I do, they choke. But hopefully, former Cleveland Browns coach, defensive coordinator Nick Saban will have the boys ready to roll Tide roll.
Well,
but
Paul,
if I was going to Vegas, I'd take 14.5 points with that LSU crowd, get a couple turnovers, and Joe Burrows, who used to be Ohio State's backup quarterback, he's pretty good. He really is. So yeah. I would take the points.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. You're not eligible for the Tiki Totem, Paul, by the way, because you made a pact with Uncle Lou. You can't be a two-teamer, and this is for an SEC.
Oh no, I paid him
Tiki.
I'm paying him back.
No.
Go Dogs. Hey, listen, I'm paying Uncle Lou back. I'm streaming tomorrow, baby. Go Dogs. I'm back. I'm bandwagoning it. I got some hot babes that are Georgia girls. They asked me over the party. I got my Georgia golf shirt. I'm paying Uncle Lou on his live stream in the morning, and go Dogs, baby. Go Dogs.
All right, Paul. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, I will say this. Last thing, you know what I mean? Georgia does have the best girls. I will tell you that.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. All right. Keep telling me. Go Dogs. Go Dogs. Go Buckeyes. You know what I mean?
Know what I mean?
All right. Before we go, let's do these pick'ems, and then I'm going to announce the winner of the Tiki Totem. Who do you have with Florida, Missouri?
I'm taking Missouri on the points there. I think Florida wins it, but I'm just worried about their mental health at this point. I mean, the Florida kids, when they know that they're kind of mathematically out of it, I just don't know if they really play up to a certain standard. So I'm going to take Missouri on the points there.
Well, I'm going to give up to 6, and I'm going to take Florida. The pick'em is between South Carolina and Ole Miss. I'm going to take Ole Miss on that. What are you going to do?
Oh, God, I just don't like South Carolina this year. I just can't. get over the fact that they're just not clicking like they should. I just don't like the coaching there. So, yeah, give me Ole Miss there too.
All right, let's see here. I'm going to, you pick a number between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick a number between 1 and 5, Couch Coach.
4.
Okay. 4th from the bottom was the second caller. Crying Ryan. Send me your name and address to volunteerroadshow@gmail.com, and I'll send you a Florida Gator Tiki Totem. You won one earlier this year, but you gave it to the smart side of your family, the Tennessee fans. But congratulations on winning that Tiki Totem. And I guess we're going to wrap this show up. Don't forget, check me out on Facebook, Volunteer Roadshow on Facebook. I'm going to start doing some Facebook live shows. We've been tinkering with it. The last couple of weeks have been hard for me. Getting in this new truck, I haven't been able to do it. But me and Couch Coach and a couple other guys that are helping me on this show are going to start doing some Facebook Live. I've got a couple of surprise guests lined up for next week. But anyway, guys, I really, really appreciate it. Thanks to all the callers. I appreciate it, Couch Coach. Well, y'all know what's coming next. Go Vols. We're going to a bowl game. I promise you that.